My name is Elizabeth from Elizabeth Magical Garden. Here is where I empower women to reclaim their authentic power, embrace their inner wisdom, and transform life's most challenges. Transitions into profound opportunities for spiritual growth and self-discovery. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you're notified every time I upload a video. Subscribe to the newsletter at Elizabeth Magical Garden, as well as check out my podcast at Elizabeth Magical Garden.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth from Elizabeth Magical Garden, a magical garden reaching for the stars. Guys, welcome back to the podcast. Happy New Year. Happy 2026, guys. We made it. We're here. Let the games begin. Guys, this is your year. This is the year where you claim your right to exist. This is your year to breathe in without guilt. This is your year to step out into the light and shine as bright as you can. This is the year that you've been waiting for. And today's discussion is going to empower you, give you the tools that is needed. We are no longer in a position where we are pretending to be something that we are not, allowing ourselves to be in situations that is disrupting our nervous system rather than uplifting us and being in a calm state. Because let's understand this. 2026, you have to have it together. There's no room for anything that is not in alignment where you are heading. So today's topic, reclaim your narrative, how to thrive when others don't understand. Unpacking how to flourish when external perception clash with inner truth. We explore cultivating an unshakable season of self. This involves atoning to our nervous system and inner wisdom, allowing us to confidently own our journey and redefine personal success beyond others' limited understanding. That was a mouthful. This is the time where you are in the thick of it, guys. And I've been mentioning this down the line, and be sure to check out the other episodes because I have been so engulfed when it comes to rebooting the nervous system, allowing us to heal properly. Because I can tell you this, if you do not understand what the nervous system does for you, this is something that I need you to go look up for yourself. I will give you a tip. Number one, when your nervous system is disrupted, it is very hard for you to control your emotions. Plain and simple. When you are in a state of being frazzled, this can happen in any way. I'm going to give you an example, and it doesn't only have to be when it's negative. Let's just say something good happened. It's something you were waiting for and you were surprised with. Maybe there was something that you really wanted and you got for Christmas. Notice how you were lost for words, maybe a little shooken up, maybe even shed a couple of tears. Who knows? This is because something shifted, something altered your physicality, your nerves, your senses. And until you calm down and reboot, you're kind of like all over the place. One of the reasons why I chose this, because we are in a new year, guys, and working on your ability to think clearly and approaching life in a way where you can be the one making decisions instead of the decisions being made for you. So I want to dive in. So let's get started. So one of the things that I realized when I found myself on this journey was how much people pleasing was at the storefront of me not achieving my goals, me getting, finding myself in ways where I wasn't appreciated and taken for granted, pretty much. Let the punishment fit the crime. What do I mean by that? One of the ways you can see if you play ahead and if you are a people pleaser or a recovering people pleaser like myself, something that you will always find yourself working on. This is something that you will always be working on from my experience, but the more you do it, the better you get at it. Number one is self-respect. Self-respect it's something that is needed. It's at the storefront of you reclaiming your life and living by your own narrative. Because see, when you respect yourself, you respect your decisions, you respect how you think, and you respect what makes you you. And this is something that I struggled with for years. Because my perception, the way I understood self-respect is, the basics. You don't do certain things. You conduct yourself, you do what you say. You do the things that you say you're going to do. You are true to your word and so forth. But it goes in so much more deeper. It's actually spiritual. When you don't have self-respect, you allow a lot of bull crap to come across your table. One of the things that I like to do, I like to break things down. So when you're working on your self-respect, how you view yourself is extremely important. It's imperative for you to get comfortable with who you are. And one of the things that I love to practice is mindfulness. I like to sit down, breathe in. I do box breath. I like to breathe in another, hold it in for 4, and continue doing that back and forth, leaving it as I let go, as I release the breath. I think about all the things that no longer serve me. I use the breath to take and release the energy that no longer deserves to be in my body. I visualize it. And as I breathe in, I take in the nourishment. I take in the oxygen, and I make it a point to realize the glory that comes from the breath. So I do that. And once I do that, I sit with myself. And as I sit with myself, I think about who I am. I think about, or I should say, I envision myself in a way that I believed that I am. And I examine it. I go as far as to ask myself, why do I believe those things? In whatever form it comes up. And this is not something like only thinking good thoughts. If I do have a negative thought, usually that likes to rear its own head, and this is something that is normal, just because it's a thought, it doesn't make it true. And if I do have a thought that is not putting me in my best light, I examine it. Where is that coming from? Usually that's coming from some type of trauma, something that you experienced when you was a young girl. Listen, there's a lot of things there's a lot of indifference we have within ourselves due to trauma. And I think that when we peel back the onion and we start to realize that, we understand, it allows you to understand that you are a beautiful human being. You've just experienced life, and life is not always pretty. And then there's how others view you. If you want to know how others view you, pay attention to how you're being spoken to. Just pay attention to the conversation. What type of conversation are they having? Are they having a conversation that is enlightening and happy going, and you're experiencing the interaction with somebody else in a way where you feel appreciated in their presence? Or do you feel like you're the joke, you're the butt of the joke, you're being put down, you're not appreciated, your time doesn't matter, and so forth? And these things will show you what a person truly thinks of you. Because let me tell you something, action speak louder than words. You could tell me you love me into the sun. Okay. If your actions is not expressing that, there's something to be said about that. One of the things I've been really true to make sure to have in my arsenal is my tools that I have cultivated. I had to reboot myself because you guys, I mentioned it. You guys know when I hit 50, for those who don't know, when I hit 50, I hit a rock. I hit a wall. There was nothing happening. Everything I thought I knew went out the window. Everything that I learned, everything I had in my arsenal that I believed that was my true blues no longer work or didn't work as much. And I had to let go of a lot of things. I had to let go of the things that no longer served me. And I also had to let go. You can see it's still like, I'm still working through it, guys. I had to let go of the things that I still was playing with. And I feel like that's a hard one, right? Like when you hear, oh, maybe you shouldn't you shouldn't have as much sugar as you have, or, you need to drink a little more water, or you've been drinking too much, the things that usually we love to do. If we do them too much, is just not good. They're not the best to start with, right? I'm going to share some of the things that I believe will not only help you reboot your nervous system, will also allow you to 10x your life. Because I kid you not, when you can come from a clear mindset and you allow yourself to have a chance at this life, can guarantee you be experiencing an amazing life. I guarantee you, if you consistently do the things that I am suggesting to you in this course. Now that we are in our mid-age, you're over your 50s, you're over your 60s, you have experienced things, you have experienced life. It's safe to say that you do have inner wisdom. We tend to not give ourselves the accolade that we are deserving of. You don't get to this big age and not have received some type of wisdom. Okay. Nothing is perfect. We know that, but you do have wisdom. And when you have wisdom, you can use this to propel you in your next journey. It doesn't have to always mean that you're starting from scratch. Listen, a couple of years ago, I injured myself. Put me through twice, okay? And it was because I wasn't doing certain things that my body requires, which is movement. I have to stretch every single day. That is a non-negotiable. And it wasn't until I stood consistent and ruthless on my ability to show up every day on that mat, no matter how I felt, no matter what was going on around my life, making sure that I did a couple of those poses every single day. That is when I seen a difference in not only my mobility, but also my body. Okay. So I'm not going to play with you guys. I'm not going to play with you and act like there's some other way that you can experience certain things without doing these things. Because let me tell you something. It's all about the simplicity. We tend to add too much to the porridge. I know I'm one of them. Every morning, my porridge is loaded. I boil the cinnamon sticks. I do the things. I put, my mouth is watering just talking about it. I add all the things. I started adding granola back to my porridge, but let's just say the porridge consists of Quaker oats. I add blueberries, honey, cottage cheese, Brickstone, and now almonds. Like, do you see how much stuff is in there? Because I practice intermittent fasting, and I even have maybe 2 eggs or egg whites on the side with, of course, the bread that I bake, because your girl is a master of all trades. Piling things on, making things so busy. It's not always the best thing. Now in the porridge, yes, but when it comes to you attaining a level of success in your life, no, because what happens is you're all over the place and you become overwhelmed, especially when you're just starting out, right? So fitness is number one on the list in terms of your longevity and your ability to reboot your nervous system, because breath work centers the nervous system. This is why you always hear breathe, just breathe, because when you're breathing, right, your nerves are starting to get calm. You're more prone to start thinking clearly and so forth. So this is something that moving your body, and guess what, guys, you can always do something. It's always something that can be done regardless of what's happening in your life. You can move your feet. You can sit on a chair. For those who have mobility issues, you could sit on a chair and do exercises. There are plenty of exercises that are on YouTube that you can use to incorporate in your ability to be flexible and move in your body, right? Because when you're able to move in your body, you have a sense of freedom, right? And then building your body, right? Look at the bodybuilders. You see how confident they are. It's not just because they have muscles. It's what it took to obtain those muscles. So when you're moving your body, you're regulating your nervous system, you're pumping blood throughout in your body. Oxygen is going to the brain. This is where you're able to come up with so many things. Who knows? You might have that multi-billion-dollar idea that would have never happened if you wasn't sweating your behind on a treadmill. So get out there and go to the gym. Speak to your physician, of course. Second is self-confidence. Guys, self-confidence is something that is not always a given. I think that everybody has a level of insecurity that they live with, and they just go on with it. Anybody that has did anything successful, you always hear them say, "I was scared all the way. I was terrified," but they did it anyway. What they learn is that this is a natural way of how can I say, it's a natural ability towards you protecting yourself. Your body is protecting yourself. So anything foreign, whether good or bad, the only thing that your body understands is that you've never done this. So it's trying to protect you. When you start to understand the fundamentals behind this concept, when you are doing something new that you've never achieved before, there is going to be a level of fright. There is. You do it anyway, right? You do it anyway. And every time you show up, regardless when you are afraid or not, especially when you're afraid and you show up, you are teaching your mind, your body, you're learning how to cope with those type of feelings when your nerves is in a heightened state, because fear, the thought of fear is being attacked within your body. You can breathe through it. You can still do it. And every time you do something that you was afraid of, you get stronger. You build confidence, right? Because now you could say, well, if I got through X, Y, and Z, this I know I could get through. And then you start to compound those experiences. And every time you have a couple of more things that you could look back on for encouragement, right? This is something that I've learned to do many moons ago. I would be, because I really do believe like it comes a time, right? Because life is going to show up anyway, right? Life is going to show up. It shows up in different ways. And when you have a level of panic, right? Because I did disclose that I cope with anxiety. And one of the things that I've learned over the course of the years of going to therapy and also self-development is that I would look back. I would go back and think about the thing that I've gotten through that I thought at that particular time was the big one. And I got through it, right? And when you constantly are in this beautiful dance, one would say, with yourself. You build a level of confidence, because confidence is going to enable you to stay calm. Confidence is going to be the one for you to press send on that email, right? Confidence is going to be needed in order for you to discuss that next big proposal, right? You have to have a level of confidence, because you could know something into the sun. You can have all the education you want, right? But if you don't have the confidence, what good is it? So how do we maintain this new level of mindset when we have the naysayers telling us that we are wrong for believing in what we believe in? It's really amusing how a person can fight you tooth and nail to believe in their belief system because of the numbers behind them being a part of that group. And you may be the only one or a couple that believe in your way, right? And you're not hurting anybody. You're not doing anything that is putting anybody in a different type of life. You're just choosing to follow what God has put inside of you. You're choosing to be the person that you were created to be. But yet and still, you are stepping on major toes. What is that about? What is it about your new mindset that is stepping on people's nerves, honey? One of the reasons why I believe this is such a touchy topic is because people are afraid. They did not achieve. They did not try. They did not give themselves a chance. They made up their mind. They folded, and they allowed life to take them the way they did. Maybe they cope. It's not to say that people with this type of mindset is not successful. Oh, they're very successful, but yet they're miserable. They're miserable because they didn't follow their dreams. Because society will tell you, you only have your dream is only as good as the zeros behind it. For myself, for many years, I always found myself at a standstill because, and believe me, I tried to allow myself to follow that road, but I just kept falling out to the point where I just like, you know what, just jump, girl. Like, you just don't belong on the side, and that's okay. Personally, I've always been a person that was comfortable walk into my own beat. I don't know how to be happy without being my authentic self. With that said, I still suffered my own level of prejudice and trauma. And these things can show up in so many different ways, in terms of you not having the confidence to even think that you're even worthy of standing up for yourself. So when people are telling you that you need to quote unquote live in the real world, this is something that I heard a lot. Real world. I'm still looking for this real world, guys. Okay, because what I understand is everybody level of consciousness is different. Yeah, we collectively believe, right? We collectively believe, but we also are individuals. Because of fear, many of us are in hiding. If you let on that you actually love to read about the dark arts, you are evil, right? If you own a tarot card or even got a reading from any type of psychic, you are evil. No, this is totally untrue, right? But if you speak to a person that has a particular belief system, you're more than likely are going to be looked at funny. The way somebody sees you, that's how they choose to live their life. We all have the ability to see each other in whatever way. Me personally, I am working towards non-judgment, right? I judge you according to how you see yourself. When I came across this concept, it changed my life because it's true. A lot of times you're taking on Everybody's point of view. You're taking on everybody's emotional wherewithal in terms of how you play in their lives, and you're not taking in consideration what you want. What do you want? Who do you aspire to be? Who are you? These are the questions that I believe 2026 deserves for you to have answers now, if not yesterday. Because this is the year of leveling all the way up. Like how, whatever up it is, we all the way up there. Because you don't get this far. You don't get to your 50s, 60s, 70s, heck, 80s and beyond. You don't get to this point to just fold. You at this big age have the ability to transform. You can do anything. You proved it already. You proved it just by listening, just by being here. You proved that you are a survivor. So be yourself. Allow the people that see you as a threat, let them stare. Allow them to be afraid. Maybe they should. And be a light to those who are still in the dark, to those who are fearful of being themselves. Be a guiding light. It is your responsibility. Because listen, when I found myself at a point where if I didn't change how I was doing things, if I didn't change the way I saw myself, we wouldn't be having this episode. But thank God, because at the end of the day, it's all about you. Guys, be sure to check out all the links down below where I have some beautiful things set up for you guys. All my offers are on my website at Elizabeth Magical Garden. Subscribe to the vlog channel at Elizabeth Magical Garden so you get behind the scenes on that platform. That is a community that I wouldn't mind having you be part of as well. And of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel at Elizabeth Magical Garden. Guys, Happy New Year once again. Stay blessed, stay in peace, and stay empowered. Peace. Leave a comment, a review, preferably 5 stars. And don't forget to check me out on Instagram because what is popping over there. And also check out my YouTube channel to stay connected and see your girl's lovely face. Guys, I love you so much. Keep on pushing. And I'll definitely speak to you soon. Be blessed.